Hello students, welcome to my channel. In last lecture we discussed about the definition of cell and history of cell. In today's lecture we are going to discuss next point of our topic, cell theory. In 1838, Matthias Sheldon, a German botanist, examined a large number of plants and observed that all plants are composed of different kinds of cells which form the tissues of the plant. Matthias Sheldon was a German botanist. He did the study on large number of plants. He took the sections of the parts of the plants and examined in microscope, and he found that plants are composed of different kinds of cells, and that cells together form the tissues in the plant. He observed that plants are composed of different kinds of cells, and these cells they form the tissues in the plant. So this was the discovery made by the Matthias Sheldon. तो शेल्डन ने क्या किया कि लार्ज नंबर ऑफ प्लांट्स पे स्टडी की, प्लांट्स के सेक्शन लेके उनको माइक्रोस्कोप में उन्होंने ऑब्जर्व किया, और ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद उन्होंने फाउंड आउट किया कि प्लांट्स में डिफरेंट काइंड्स के सेल्स होते हैं और वो सेल्स टिश्यूज तैयार करते हैं. सो दिस वाज द वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट डिस्कवरी मेड बाय द मैथियस शेल्डन. Same time, a Theodor Schwann, British zoologist, studied different types of animal cells and reported that cells had a thin outer layer which is today known as the plasma membrane. Theodor Schwann, he did study on the large number of animal cells. He observed in microscope and he found that the cells of animals had a outer thin layer, and that outer thin layer is nothing but the outermost boundary of the animal cells. And today we know that outermost thin layer of the animal cell is called as a plasma membrane. Theodor Schwann ने क्या किया कि डिफरेंट एनिमल सेल्स की स्टडी की, और स्टडी करने के बाद उन्होंने क्या स्टेटमेंट दिया कि एनिमल सेल्स में उनके आउटरमोस्ट जो बाउंड्री होती है वो थिन लेयर होती है, और दैट थिन लेयर अब इज नाउ कॉल्ड एज अ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. He also concluded based on his studies on plant tissues that the presence of cell wall is a unique character of the plant cells. Theodor Schwann also did study on the plant tissues, and he found that the plant cells have cell wall as their outermost layer. The outer boundary of the plant cell is nothing but the cell wall. कि थियोडर श्वैन ने प्लांट टिश्यूज़ की भी स्टडी की, और उन्होंने स्टेटमेंट दिया कि प्लांट्स में प्लांट सेल्स में सेल वॉल उनकी आउटर मोस्ट बाउंड्री होती है. एंड ही ऑल्सो स्टेटेड दैट प्रेजेंस ऑफ सेल वॉल इज़ द यूनिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर ऑफ द प्लांट सेल्स. प्लांट सेल्स में ही सेल वॉल होती है, एनिमल सेल में आउटर थिन लेयर प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन होती है. तो सेल वॉल क्या है? प्लांट सेल्स का यूनिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर है. On the basis of this, Schwann proposed the hypothesis that the bodies of animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cells. So we know that Schwann did study on plant tissues and animal cells, and he proposed the hypothesis on the basis of his studies that animals and plants both are composed of cells and products of cells. श्वैन ने प्लांट सेल्स एनिमल सेल्स पे स्टडी की, और फाइनली उन्होंने कंक्लूजन दिया, उनका स्टेटमेंट दिया कि प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स ये सेल से और सेल के प्रोडक्ट से तैयार होते हैं. Sheldon and Schwann together formulated the cell theory. This theory, however, did not explain how new cells were formed. Sheldon or Schwann, we know that, studied the different types of plant cells. Schwann studied the animal cells, and finally had given the statement about the cell theory that bodies of plants and animals are composed of cells and products of cells. So this was one of the most important discovery in the cell biology. But these two scientists, they did not explain how new cells are formed. So that most important discovery was made by the Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow, he studied the cells of plants and animals, and he explained that cells divided. Different types of cells they divided, and after division of cell, new cells are formed from the pre-existing cell. कि जो previously existed cell हैं, उस previously existed cell से ही दो न्यू सेल्स तैयार होते हैं. So new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. This one of the most important statement was given by the Rudolf Virchow. He modified the hypothesis of Sheldon and Schwann and gave the final statement of the cell theory. So which are the two important statements of the cell theory? All living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. All cells arise from the pre-existing cells. तो फाइनल दो स्टेटमेंट क्या है सेल थ्योरी के रुडोल्फ विर्चो के स्टडी के बाद? फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट है ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ सेल्स एंड प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ सेल्स, के सभी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म सेल से बने हुए होते हैं और सेल उनका कार्य करती है, उनके फंक्शन करती है, मेटाबॉलिक रिएक्शन करती है और डिफरेंट टाइप्स के प्रोडक्ट्स प्रोड्यूस होते हैं सेल में और वो उन प्रोडक्ट्स की वजह से सेल्स टुगेदर बाइंड होते हैं और टिश्यू तैयार करते हैं. दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट. ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ सेल्स एंड प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ सेल. एंड सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट ऑफ सेल थ्योरी, ऑल सेल्स अराइज फ्रॉम द प्री एग्जिस्टिंग सेल्स, के पहले से ही जो सेल होती है लाइव सेल्स, वो लाइव सेल का डिवीजन होता है और उस लाइव सेल का डिवीजन होने के बाद दो न्यू सेल्स तैयार होते हैं. व्हेन द प्री एग्जिस्टिंग सेल divide, at that time two new cells are formed. So this is one of the important discovery made by the Rudolf Virchow. तो Rudolf Virchow ने स्टेटमेंट दिया एक, that is nothing but the Greek phrase, Latin phrase, sorry, it is a Latin phrase, omnis cellula e cellula. So this is the Latin phrase given by the Rudolf Virchow. तो इस फ्रेज का मतलब क्या है? New cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. ध्यान में आया? Any doubt? If any doubt, you can ask me in comment. Now we are going to discuss MCQs on cell and cell theory. First MCQ. Cell was discovered by A option Schwann, B Leeuwenhoek, C Robert Hooke, D Robert Brown. So the answer is Robert Hooke. Cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke. Next MCQ, cell theory was formulated by A option Sheldon and Schwann, B Robert Hooke, C Leeuwenhoek, D Marcello Malpighi. So our answer is A. Sheldon and Schwann formulated the cell theory. Third MCQ, who proposed a modification in the cell theory? A option Aristotle, B Rudolf Virchow, C Leeuwenhoek and D Robert Hooke. So what is the answer? Answer is the Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow in 1855 he changed the cell theory and he had given his hypothesis. Next MCQ, the concept of omnis cellula e cellula regarding cell division was first proposed by A option Rudolf Virchow, B Theodor Schwann, C Sheldon, D Aristotle. So answer is Rudolf Virchow. The concept of omnis cellula e cellula was given by Rudolf Virchow. The meaning is cell divided and new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Last MCQ, Theodor Schwann named the outer layer of the cell which is today known as A tonoplast, B cell membrane, C basement membrane and D biological membrane. So the answer is B, cell membrane. So we know that cell membrane is also called as a plasma membrane, and Theodor Schwann first studied the animal cells and gave the statement that animal cells have an outer thin layer which is today now known as the plasma membrane, which is also called as a cell membrane.